You know, sometimes a routine night turns into the story you'll never forget. Like, you start out thinking about dinner, and suddenly you're in the middle of something out of a movie, wondering how you got here. That was Officer Brian Keller's night on Hollow Creek Road. Right as the sun was sinking, casting everything in that golden, almost forgiving light. Keller was just counting down the minutes, dreaming about leftover ribs and a cold beer waiting at home, when this black SUV rolled through the intersection up ahead. Nothing too wild, just a license plate covered in dust enough for a curious cop to justify a closer look. You know what I mean? He flipped his blinker, eased behind the SUV, and flicked his lights on. The SUV pulled over without a hint of confusion, smooth as butter. Most people hesitate, get nervous, but not this driver. She knew exactly what to do almost too well. Keller's radar pinged. He approached, playing it cool. "Evening," he said. The window rolled down, and there she was, a black woman, maybe mid-30s, composed as hell, chin-length braids, tailored blazer, both hands at the wheel like she read in a manual. "License and registration," he asked. She slid over a sleek wallet. Not a word, not a sigh, not a single bit of the attitude he usually got on traffic stops. That should have made it easier, but honestly, it just set his nerves on edge. He looked at the ID. Naomi Carter, it said. The seal was federal-looking, Department of Homeland Security maybe, but the design? He'd never seen it in his decade on the force. Not FBI, not ATF, nothing he could put his finger on. "Where'd you get this?" he pressed, waiting for a flinch, a stumble, anything. "It's legitimate," she replied, flat and calm. "You certain?" he asked, pushing harder, because passing a fake ID to a cop is a federal offense. She just looked at him, dead steady. "I'm aware. It's not false." And that right there, her certainty set off every alarm in his head. He called for backup, didn't even try to hide his concern. As he walked back, two rookies rolled up, looking for all the world like they were about to make their first big bust. "Ma'am, step out of the vehicle," one said. Naomi moved slow and deliberate, precise, making it clear she wasn't about to run or resist. As they put the cuffs on her, she just said, "You're making a mistake." Not angry, not scared, just stating a fact. The neighborhood started noticing, people pulling out phones, a lady with a golden retriever slowing to record, a jogger across the street aiming their camera. As Naomi stood there, Keller caught a glimpse of a tiny earpiece behind her ear. She didn't seem bothered, no fear, no pleas, just waiting. "You live nearby?" Keller tried, still searching for some normalcy. "Just driving through." "Where to?" "Home." "Where's home?" She gave him a small, knowing smile. "I think you already know, I can't say." And right then, the scene shifted suddenly. The routine was gone. From nowhere, two matte black SUVs screeched around the corner, stopping behind the patrol cars. For people in suits stepped out, moving with a precision that screamed federal. The tallest one held up a badge, Federal Protective Service. "She's ours. Uncuff her." Keller stiffened. "With respect, I haven't verified her credentials yet." The agent stepped in closer, his words slow and heavy. "Officer Keller, you're seconds away from turning a routine stop into a federal mess. Agent Carter is undercover. Remove those cuffs." One of the new agents scanned Naomi's ID. A green light beeped, confirming what she'd said all along. Keller felt the ground shift under him. That's when a teenager from across the street yelled, "You cuffing her for what?" "A dirty license plate." The crowd got thicker, cameras everywhere. But Naomi? She wasn't looking at the phones. Her eyes were scanning, focused. Then she spotted someone on the edge, a man in a gray hoodie, no phone out, just watching. She spoke quietly into her earpiece. Target acquired. One agent bolted after the man, catching him in seconds. They found a thin wire taped under his collarbone, a tracker, not a mic. Naomi's jaw set hard. They weren't watching me. They were tracking me. This route was arranged. She glanced at the rookie who'd cuffed her. His eyes dropped to his radio. Something had leaked. "I need access to your precinct," she told Keller. "Because if they knew exactly where I'd be, that leak didn't come from my end." The implication was clear. He took her to the station. No more questions. Inside, the place buzzed with tension as Naomi flashed her badge. ordered the young officer to secure the floor, and headed straight for the secure room. She pulled a flash drive, plugged it into the server, copying logs and call records hunting for the leak. Keller barged in, confused and a bit defensive. "You just walking like this is your place?" "You nearly blew a federal operation," she replied coldly. Suddenly, Deputy Thomas Raines appeared, a stocky man with a clean uniform and a smile that never touched his eyes. Well, look who decided to rise from the dead," he said. Naomi's voice stayed level. "Worked together overseas. Brief joint op." Then he vanished mid-mission. Raines scoffed. "Vanished? Is it your story? You walked away with half a contact list and left 3 bodies in a safe house." Naomi shot back. "You were the only one unaccounted for." She pulled out a recorder and hit play. Raines' voice spilled out, describing her route, time, even the weather. Keller and Naomi closed in. Raines lunged, desperate, but Keller pinned him, and Naomi arrested him on the spot treason, obstruction, leaking classified info. As they locked Raines up, he spat through the bars. "You think this ends with me? You're just pulling the first thread." Naomi's gaze never wavered. "You're not the end, Thomas. You're just the start." Back in the evidence room, Naomi laid out files, maps, photos, a whole network she'd been tracking. The central figure, a courier named Asher, always in different jackets, always with a slim silver case. She traced recent data blackouts to a contractor that handled patrol car cameras, citizen source. If someone got inside, they could track every move. "I believe the transfer is happening tonight. Old maintenance tunnel, Stonebridge Lane," she said. Keller agreed to go with her, not as backup, but as a witness. If something happens, someone needs to tell the story. They headed into the tunnel's damp, dark, forgotten. They found Asher, case in hand, but not alone. Arthur Greaves, the city's infrastructure guy, showed up, guns shaking. He ranted about the broken system, but Naomi laid it out those weren't files. They were undercover agents' names. Asher realized he'd been used, slammed the case into Greaves, gun hit the floor, Keller kicked it away. Naomi scooped up the case as sirens wailed in the distance. The threat was over for now. Next morning, the news was everywhere. Viral videos, debate raging. Was it racial profiling, system failure, or just a perfect storm of bad luck and old habits? Inside a windowless room, Naomi faced federal officials. "You broke protocol," they said. "But I stopped a leak, secured classified info, and took down 2 threats." The officials agreed off the record, of course. Outside, Keller apologized. Naomi nodded. "You made a mistake, but you didn't double down. That's what counts." As the sun rose, Naomi left town, thinking about how easily a simple assumption can snowball, how one question asked twice can make all the difference. So what do you think? Was justice served, or did the system fail again? If you were in Keller's shoes, would you have trusted your gut or gone by the book? Drop your thoughts below, because stories like this aren't just headlines. They're lived, and the questions don't end when the camera stops rolling. If this made you think, subscribe and share your take on what justice really looks like and how we can all do better. See you in the next story.